Hi, thanks for coming. This is a sort of a third in a series, and what this is how the third part of how to make your dreams become reality. The first the first video was about how to make an image of what you want. The second video is to say you can then fill that image with energy. Talked about using your emotions, even your thoughts are all part of the energization process. Today, what I want to talk about is the acceleration of the prana into your image. And this is exactly the same procedure you would use with anything you want. This is what's happening with every desire you have that becomes reality. The example I like to use, suppose a person's a teenager and they're finishing up high school and they want to become a doctor. What do? Well, they go out and they take a college education. They get a 4-year degree in Bachelor of Science in Biology. Then if their grades are good enough, they apply to go to medical school. They get accepted. And then it's another 4 years, okay, with another 4 years of residency after they pass. And they have to pass the American boards as well if you're going to be a doctor in the United States. If you have a strong desire, you could go to a Caribbean country that has a medical school there, and you could take that and so cut off 4 years. Well, that means that you have to have a strong enough desire to leave the United States to go there. There are other ways to shorten that, but they have unintended consequences for doing that. If you want to be a doctor, you can go to an African nation and in 2 years be a doctor. Does that mean you're going to be a doctor in America? No, you still have to come back and take the American boards, even if you get that degree. And I've been using it. So there's always unintended consequences. And that's what you have to learn how to analyze. It is possible to do anything you want. The question is the time, the circumstances for everything. What I'm going to talk about is how to gather energy to get what you want in the fastest way possible. So, fastest way possible to be a doctor is to make certain you get the grades that guarantee you acceptance into medical school, for example. Fastest way possible means that when you sit for the boards for your medical degree to be able to practice in the United States, you'll get a high score. So there's always the consideration of the unintended consequences. But having said that, let me tell you how you increase the energy to make your dreams come true. And I talked about it a little bit in the past video, saying that you have to get the prana. And the prana is already being manipulated by you. The view of Tantra is that the Kundalini is active and is creating your reality even as we speak. So when people tell you that the Kundalini is coiled up at the base of the spine 3.5 times, to take it at its face value means that you don't know what the Kundalini is. And therefore, you're going to have a much harder time than if you think that the Kundalini is already operating and that you are pulling the levers of the Kundalini. What this video is an attempt to show you how to control that Kundalini better. So I'm going to give a little different viewpoint on the 8 limbs of yoga. The first 2, the yamas and the niyamas, deal with the outward manifestation of the Kundalini. Okay? Do good, be good, is essentially what they say. The major point about controlling the Kundalini in your reality is a state called pratyahara, isolation from the senses. The senses always make the Kundalini go outside your mind-body. And if you restrict the prana from going out through the senses, the prana is neither created nor destroyed. So what the process is a storing up of the energy. If you've seen people that do Tai Chi and look at the movements, people control the Chi or the prana with their movements. And if you were actually ever to get into a confrontation with somebody that knows jujitsu, they manipulate not only their ki, but your ki. After pratyahara comes concentration. And there's an aid for that called mantras. So people think that the mantras lead to meditation, but they start in concentration. And concentration means to concentrate the prana. What is the sign, or what should be the sign for you, that you're becoming successful in manipulating the prana? You get happier. Tantra says, make yourself happier the next instant. That's a call to gather and control the prana. Meditation is the perfection of concentration. And they have actually made markers to give people a clue of how well they're doing. For instance, the first marker for success in meditation is that if you can do the mantra for just 12 seconds. Well, that sounds, people say that's easy. Well, it is until you try it. Yeah, the statement about meditation is it's continuous, like oil being poured from one vessel to another. And if you've ever watched that being done, what you see is that the stream of oil is pretty consistent. There isn't a break. And that's what the meditation says. So 12 seconds of doing, for instance, Om Mani Padme Hum. If you think of something after you say is that a break in concentration? Absolutely. So then, for example, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, can't have any thought that goes out and comes back. Doing meditation then in an unbroken stream is a prerequisite for the definition of meditation. One of the greatest mantras is the Gayatri mantra. And in the Gayatri mantra, first of all, there's a long version. The short version really is only for purification. The long version connects to each of the 7 chakras. The short version only connects to the first 3. So all these thousands of years, people have misunderstood and thought that the Gayatri was really the short version, which it is not. What happens in the Gayatri, if you pay attention to it, is that it goes in a circular pattern around the spine. So if you've ever seen the medical system symbol for medicine, the caduceus, it also circulates around the central staff. I have actually a video about the Gayatri mantra, the story behind it, and the mantra for the Gayatri. I also have my wife saying the mantra. So anyway, the Gayatri circulates in a clockwise direction up to the third eye 3 times. And then the energy goes straight up from the Ajna chakra to the crown chakra. And what is not generally known is that how you manifest things is that the energy from the crown chakra, which has been stored up, now comes down back to the third eye, and that's when you feel your image, you fill your image with the energy, and you send it out. So you can do other things, but it's going to take you longer. In the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, among the mantras, or the meters, I am the Gayatri mantra. The state of self-realization is embodied in the Gayatri mantra. So if you're a spiritual seeker, I encourage you to take up the Gayatri mantra. You will reach the state of self-realization quickly with increasing energy inside your life. The unintended consequences from using the Gayatri mantra is that you will be happier than you are now. That's the statement of Tantra. Be happier the next instant. Doing the Gayatri makes that happen. Thank you very much.